Telltales The Walking Dead will always have a special place in my heart for being one of, if not the best video game series known to mankind. I have a lot to talk about after replaying the series on my Twitch, and also, I kind of just got here and I need something to talk about. Now, if you know the Cosmonaut Variety Hour, you know he does tons of long reviews on movies, giving his opinion on every movie in the series. Mine is going to be like that, giving my review on every game. But, just a reminder, the choices that I choose to talk about are just my opinion, so don't get mad if I choose to kill a certain character. Without further ado, let's start the game. And also, my footage was really laggy from my Twitch stream, so I had to re-record it with no facecam footage. Damn, this game is damn near perfect in almost every way. I really do love this game a lot. There's nothing really bad I can say about it, honestly. Apart from being kinda boring, there's nothing wrong with it. Sure, some of the characters' faces are a little weird, but that only makes the game better by laughing at the faces. The characters feel real and have real problems that eventually make them snap, like Lily, for example, or Kenny, or literally every character in this game. Every episode has great storytelling, and you'll never know whether a character will live or die. I swear, I always forget how Katja dies, but when I see it again, it's always a shocker. Also, this game's ending is easily the best ending out of any of the games. So yeah, I'm keeping my thoughts pretty brief, but when I explain the storyline for all the games, then I'll really go into depth. So, for now, I'm going to give this game a solid 9 out of 10. I'm going to be honest for a minute here. The Walking Dead Season 2 is my favorite game of the four, and there's nothing terrible about this game at all, and I mean it. The only problem I had with it was that the game was occasionally freezing. Now, I want to talk about two things really quickly. One being the gore, and two being the music, and this goes for all of the games to continue. Now, the gore is damn near perfect in every way for all of the games, and you're either getting the downright brutal gore or the squeamish gore that makes you want to put a balled up fist in your mouth. For example, Larry's death from the first game and the stitching scene from this one. Even now, in 2021, I still squirm from the stitching part. It's that good. Now, the music for all the games is amazing. For me, a game's soundtrack is a massive part of the game itself. It's what sets the tone and what you hear for most of the time to drown out the silence. Also, the characters are better than most of the ones from the first game, having real problems and making real mistakes that lead them to their eventual death. I also love the settings, constantly moving around from place to place, seeing what the dead has done to it. And lastly, this game's ending is probably the most consequential ending out of all the games leading into the New Frontier. This game is close to perfection, so I'm giving The Walking Dead Season 2 a solid 10 out of 10. Okay, so I don't like The Walking Dead Season 3, and the problems I had with it were mainly the characters. Nobody says Javier or David is their favorite character. We're really only playing this game for Clem, and honestly, I would have been fine if we played it from Clem's point of view. It would have been a lot more interesting. But the story does feel easy to understand, and the gameplay is fine. This is probably the most family-driven game in the series, but not in a bad way. I'm all for family stuff in video games because, like Voss from Far Cry 3 said, family is an anchor. And one last thing. This game is probably my least favorite ending of all of the games in the series. So, for now, I'm gonna give this game a solid 6 out of 10. Yo. Here we are at last, the final season. Now, this game was emotional for me to play, in a very sad way, even after playing this game over 4 times. Hell, most of these games are sad. Seeing your favorite character die in front of you hurts so much, and Clem is easily my favorite character in video game history. And seeing our story end hurts a lot more than you might think. It doesn't make this game bad, though. Actually, it helps the story a lot. We finally get a conclusion to The Walking Dead. But that's not all. This game has some of the best gameplay, some of the best characters, and story. All of the characters are phenomenal, and luckily for me, I managed to get most of the characters to survive, which felt nice. So, for now, I'm giving The Walking Dead final season another 10 out of 10, and I stand by it. There we go. We are done with the review of every single one of Telltale's The Walking Dead games, but I want to get serious for a moment before I end this. Is The Walking Dead over? Hell, we're almost on the last season of the TV show, and there are no new games coming out anytime soon. But that's for another video. Telltale said that they do not plan to make another Walking Dead game, and I actually agree with that. Instead of milking the series dry, they ended it, unlike most game developers. They got their money's worth out of the 4 games, around $150 million, I assume. They also closed down 2 years ago and lost their license to the Walking Dead game. But even then, we don't need another one. I believe that you don't need a sequel if there isn't a reason to come back. Think The Last of Us 2 in that sense. We saw Clem grow up into a survivor, and the same thing will happen with AJ. What else would they even do? Besides, catching up with the whole Javier storyline and the community's battling thing that the Walking Dead games aren't known for seems out of touch. The Walking Dead games had its run, and I do have plans to make a couple more videos about it, but without further ado, let's rank the games. Number 4, Season 3 of The New Frontier. Damn, I hate that name so much. Season 3 is the weakest link in the series. I don't mean it's downright terrible, though. Just my least favorite game in the series. Number 3, sadly, is Season 1. Now, I love this game, and I'll never forget the ending or Lee, but there are 2 more games that beat it out. Number 2, the final season. I love this game, but the reason why I'm putting it at number 2 is just because Season 2 barely beats it out by, literally 2%. Number 1, Season 2. What more can I say? I remember I used to play this game on my dad's phone. Damn, the memories of playing this game. Well, there you go. All the games are ranked and reviewed. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and feel free to subscribe, like, or comment. You can always change your mind later, and I will be reviewing these games in separate videos, going more in depth on story and timeline and lore stuff in the coming weeks. But without further ado, goodbye and stay safe.